All right, just so you know, I am here, but I'm using. You might notice things look a little different, a little cutesy, a little demure. I'm using a different streaming service. This is called a Restream. It's quite fancy, and I did pay for the behind the scenes stuff. So I'm the one thing I don't like about it though is that it didn't show the link in YouTube so I could send it out until I started the stream. So that's why I'm like giving people time to come in. I see there are 4 people. Don't be shy. Let me pull the chat up so I can see if anybody chats in here. And just so you guys know, I am streaming to. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't even start. Did I start on Instagram? Hold on, y'all. Okay, yeah. So now it's live on Instagram. Girl, I'm getting fancy up in this joint. Um, I should be anyway, streaming to Facebook as well. So I'm just getting myself together. Yup, I'm live on. Yup. I'm live on Facebook. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me hold on. Now I can't see where I can mute this because I gotta check everything. How do I mute this? Oh, here. Okay, I did. All right, so that's muted. Good. So I just wanted to make sure I could see everything. So now I will come onto the camera. Wow. I don't know what that was. Hi, can you see me? All right, making sure everything's still working because I got notifications of something said something was going on. So whatevs. Hi, everybody. Yes, we're coming up. I told you I'm in the back working. I'm cooking it up in the kitchen. Okay, big things are going. So welcome everyone to Level Up Single Mom. My name is Kiana Footman. Level Up Single Mom is where I teach single mothers and Black women how to self actualize with ease and grace. Tonight we are going to be talking about. Can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Hi, Kenny. Okay. Hi to Kenny. Hi to QB. Hello, darling Nikki. Hello, Anti. Hello, Themis. You a looky Lou? So we are here tonight to talk about Kirk Frost and Rasheeda. Um, I was not sure what I was going to talk about this week till literally like the middle of the afternoon today. It's good quality. You like it? Is it good? I thought so. So I don't know who of y'all had seen when I had accidentally streamed like some previously recorded stuff to YouTube when it was only supposed to be going to like Facebook and Twitter at the time. And so I was using Restream to do it because Restream, when I was talking about, I don't know who all watched the stream when I was doing the back end stuff for my channel and everything. Hey, Mara. But I didn't get to the part where I was talking about like AI and automation and the things I want to try to use to like multiply myself for myself so I don't have to do as much manually. And so I found Restream and I did a free trial where I could go ahead and put a certain number or a certain amount of minutes worth of pre-recorded material in and I could just stream it, like schedule streams on whatever platforms I want to. And that's another reason why, if you were in that live when I was talking about the back end stuff, I was saying like I need 10,000 subscribers on TikTok because I can't hook this up to TikTok unless I have 10,000 subscribers. Until I have 10,000 or followers, whatever, on TikTok, I have to just go live on TikTok like directly. And I'm trying to connect everything so I can do as little as possible or whatever. But I am currently live on Facebook. Hi to all my Facebook peeps. I'm live on Instagram right now. So I'm doing it up real big. I did pay for a subscription to this. It's only, I think, like $19 a month, and I can do this. So really, really excited about that. I also, since I paid for it, I can do all the the branding things. So that's really exciting for me. It's even fun for me to look at and whatnot. So yeah. But yeah, we are going to talk about Kirk and Rasheeda Frost. Like I said, I didn't really have a topic tonight, but somebody in one of the servers I'm in had posted something from the recent season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta having to do with Kirk and Rasheeda Frost. And I said, you know what? This is a perfect example. I think I'd already did like some TikToks about it. This is a perfect example of the things I talk about in my book, Level Up: The Single Mother's Guide to Reclaiming Her Dignity. Ooh, you about to see something fancy. Watch this. Y'all about to see something fancy. So you can buy Level Up Single Mom, The Single Mother's Guide to Reclaiming Her Dignity as an ebook. And there's the QR code for the ebook. So I'll give you a few seconds. You can go ahead and pick that up. You can also buy it on Amazon in paperback, period. So I'll give you a few seconds. You can go ahead and pick that up. And if you like, you could sponsor the channel through my Cash App. So if you want to help me pay for this monthly, then so we can give you this production value. Okay, there goes my Cash App. So, just thought I'd put that out there. We'll be bringing those back later on at some point in the show. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Themey. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is for y'all. This is for y'all. Because if it were up to me, you should have seen what was going on here. I gave you a little Kamala, a little bit of that action. I'm trying to make it nice for y'all. Okay. So yeah, we're just gonna hang out and chit and chat. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, play this intro, and then we'll come back and get to talking. All right, now how do I do this? Hold on. I'm still like, oh, it's not here. Where did it go? That's all right. That's all right. I know how to do it. Well, anyway, how are y'all? What's going on? This is going to be other local. Okay. Oh, it's coming out so nice. I'm really liking this. This is probably going to be my favorite one of all. So yeah, we're talking about Kirk and Rasheeda Frost. I'm coming in assuming that you at least have some awareness, if you're here, of who Kirk and Rasheeda Frost are. I am going to go over an overview of like their storylines on Love and Hip Hop. I have a whole little article pulled up where we could kind of go over to bring ourselves to where we are today. But Kirk and Rasheeda Frost are a married couple that are on the show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and have been on the show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for gotta be over a decade now. They allegedly, I mean, I guess I don't know if I have to say allegedly or not because it's clearly true. You can do the math. Kirk has been with Rasheeda since she was a high school teenager. He was going to her school to pick her up from school, in the beginnings of their relationship. And so they've been together all of Rasheeda's adult life and part of her childhood life. They've gotten married. They have a few children. I believe Kirk has other children outside of the baby mom, his last baby mom that we'll be discussing today. Oh, I don't know if I can do this article because this stuff keeps popping up. I might not put it on the screen, but I'll just read it to y'all because it keeps getting all these. It's a little janky. and it keeps getting all these pop-ups. So I don't want to see that. That's ghetto. I'm not going to be playing any of the clips though, because I don't have time for them to be cutting me off. Like I said, this thing is new to me, so I don't need them cutting this stream and then me having to set up a whole nother one and go through that whole rigmarole. So we're going to start off with, in the second season of Love and Hip Hop, Kirk and Rasheeda are introduced as a married couple. And then they happen to show, first of all, Rasheeda is pregnant. Let's get that under there. And they happen to show that Kirk is hanging out with Benzino. Benzino is Coi Lere's father. And they went to some cabin in the woods somewhere and they had women with them. Two women. So it was two of them and it was two women. Oh no, was Scrappy? No, Scrappy wasn't there. The reason I'm asking is Scrappy there because one of the women was Scrappy's future wife, Bambi. But she was not with Kirk. Um she said she was. See, yeah, you didn't know. She was younger. Um so yeah, they were at the cabin. Later on, that becomes a problem because they Kirk is told by I'm assuming the girl that was there. I don't fully remember that she's pregnant, and so he is assumably the father of that child. I do not remember if that child turned out to be Kirk's child actually, but that was the storyline at the time. What I do remember though, is Rasheeda's mother was also a part of the show, a friend of the show and whatnot. And I remember that Rasheeda eventually decides to take him back because, like I said, she's big and pregnant. And she's like, oh, you need to make it up to my family and my people. Yeah, you remember Bambi was there. She was right on up there, stewing up in the hot tub. And so she's like, you have to apologize to everybody, like publicly. You embarrassed me publicly, so you have to apologize publicly. And they have this barbecue. And I remember that her mother, Kirk rode up on like this dirt bike thing, and her mother backed her car up over his dirt bike. He wasn't on it, but he was standing like nearby. She did it so that he would see, it was purposeful. So that was wild. What else happened? Let's go a little farther down. Sorry. Oh, it looks like they had a whole like renewal of their vows and everything that we're not going to watch because again, I don't have time for them. So then, okay, Rasheeda has their baby. Mind you, they went through all that stuff that they were going through at the time, right? So Rasheeda has their baby. This mofo decides that he's going to go behind her back and get a DNA test on the baby that they just had. After, the whole cheating scandal and everything else. So he does that. Um, he also, it says he aims to make it up to her after he put her through a lot. So he buys her a store. Her store did really well. I remember I'm gonna give her this. I've always liked Rasheeda's style, her fashion, and the stuff she had in the store, whatever. That's fine. So then, okay, here it jumps to when the baby mom that's on the thumbnail, Jasmine, comes into the picture. So it says the drama is thick, but then Rasheeda and Jasmine get to talk in the club. Jasmine told her, I didn't know what I was destroying. I'll be the first to say, I wish I would have never did that. So this is when the newest baby mom, Jasmine, first comes on the scene. This was pre-BBL Jasmine. This was little skinny, slim goody Jasmine. What else happens? It says for the new season, Rasheeda came clean with a shocker. She had cheated on Kirk. Now that's something I never knew. The other castmates seem surprised by this, I'm sure, but Rasheeda lets them know it was a one-time thing and that she and Kirk were good. So I guess he knew about that. They're saying, mind you, too. I didn't watch this, but they were on Marriage Boot Camp. I believe they were on Marriage Boot Camp when Andy and Mendices were on Marriage Boot Camp as well. But I fell off of actually faithfully watching these things so long ago, so I'm just kind of brushing up on stuff. And I'm jumping back. It's like a soap opera. I'm jumping back in. You know how if you ever watch Young and the Restless and stuff like that, if you jump back in, if you know any of the old stuff, you can kind of catch up to where things are. Is that supposed to be the that's the end of the thing? So anyway, that's the end of this article. It really didn't do too much. Boo. So anyway, now we're at a space where Kirk has a baby mother named Jasmine. She's younger, significantly younger than he and Rasheeda. In this new season, she's coming back and she's just like, hey, the baby's, I want to say about 5 or so by now. And she's like, you never see him. You never even come get him when you're supposed to, according to the court. You know, Doctor, like you have visitation and you don't use it. You don't come get the baby. You don't give me any money for the baby. You don't know anything about the baby. You don't really have a relationship with the child. Rasheeda's standpoint is that Jasmine is assuming that there's going to be a dynamic with her and with her son and Kirk that is unrealistic because they are not together and he is married. But she maintains that they take care of the Kirk's son when he's there. Now again, Jasmine is saying, "Hey, my son, you don't come get him, you don't come see him. He's not around you very much to get the benefit of this equal treatment that Rasheeda is saying that he gets when he's around. He's never around." In the midst of this, on the side somewhat, Jasmine is saying to Kirk, you only want to come around if you think, or you only want to do something if you think that you're going to get, you know, busy with me, if you think you're going to get some action. And that shouldn't be the case. That's not right. Yada, yada, yada. So in the midst of this, Rasheeda is still maintaining that Jasmine is this and Jasmine is that and Jasmine is being unreasonable, yada, yada, yada. Jasmine's still trying to spare her the knowledge that her husband is still trying to have sexy time with her under the guise of, basically trying to extort her because he's not going to do for his child unless he's able to get the sex that he's looking for from her. So there is so much of this situation that hits on the stuff that I talk about in my book. Because this is a book, for those who may not know, this is a book for women who struggle to get over their child's father. It tells you how to navigate situations like these. Now, I'll be for real with you. This situation with Rasheeda and Jasmine is kind of like slightly different, even though it still deals with the themes within the book. But from what I've seen, Jasmine doesn't seem like she's hung up on Kirk. Jasmine doesn't seem like, who is this? Have you single woman finding marriage? I don't know what that means. We've expanded, people. We're on Facebook and stuff now too, so we're gonna see some things. It doesn't seem like Jasmine is worried about being with Kirk, having sex with Kirk. She doesn't seem interested with Kirk at all. Now, I could be wrong because I don't watch the show. Hey there, Tori. I don't watch the show. So they could be messing around in that. I have yet to see any clips or anything that says like Jasmine's been caught in a lie or anything. But so far, like I said, it's been all these receipts and hints that Kirk has been actively trying to have sex with her. And mind you, sorry, y'all. And mind you, whenever this is brought up, because of course you know how they do it, it's got to be a production. They'll be at somebody's party or event or something like that. And somebody will be like, oh, Jasmine's here. And then they got to come and then they got to have this whole confrontation. Or Jasmine may not be there. It's all the friends sitting and talking about the situation with Rasheeda and Kirk. So the last clip I saw was Jasmine in a poly relationship at one point. I do not know. So somebody said Rasheeda need a copy of the book ASAP, please. Kenny said, hold on, show it. Kenny said, that's anti. Hi, anti. I've been watching I Believe Jasmine. I believe Jasmine too, just because the clips that I've seen so far, especially, it's not even her. When she's with Kirk and they have a little alone time to talk, and she confronts him about these things, she's like, you're the one texting me these things. I still have the receipts. His face will just be like, he will just have the most guilty, stupid look on his face because he literally can't say anything. If what she's saying is true, hey, Chrissy, thank you. If what she's saying is true, he can't say anything. And the last clip I saw, they were somewhere. I don't know why. Spice was looking like Missy Elliott. I assume based off the way everybody was dressed, it was maybe like a theme party, a period type party of maybe like the early 2000s or the 90s or whatever, hip hop, whatever. And they're all standing around. Messy ass Carly brought Jasmine or invited Jasmine or something like that. Jasmine gets out the car. She's not even dressed for the party. She gets out the car and she has these screenshots of Kirk supposedly like trying to solicit sex from her or whatever. So Carly brings it over. They're looking. There's like two little. The words can't be more than two letters. There's two redacted, words, but the words are so small in the midst of all these other words. It literally could be like as if or so. I don't know, right? And so they're like, well, we need to see the whole thing because I don't know. Rasheeda's like, I'm not even going to look at it. I'm not even going to look at it because, and I know that energy. I've seen that energy in like people around when they just don't want to be bothered with the truth that they're going to see, when they just know that they are not going to be, hey, true, when they just know that they are just not going to do whatever this information is going to convict them to need to do. She was just like, I don't want to see it. But Kirk had the look on his face because she was like, that's what it was. They saw the screenshot. Like I said, the screenshot had the stuff redacted. And so somebody was like, well, Kirk, let us see it from your phone because your phone should have the full message. And he was like, oh, I ain't even got nothing in my phone. It ain't even nothing. And then somebody was like, yeah, the date says da-da-da-da-da. So he reluctantly gives his phone to Rasheeda. Rasheeda goes to the date. She looks at it. And he's just like, dumbass face. Can't say no. But you could already tell by his demeanor that once they turned to him and was like, oh, produce your phone, it was a wrap for him. He was just stuck. And then the last part of that clip I saw was Rasheeda walking away. She said something like, this is stupid. Or I don't know what she said, but she was clearly upset by whatever she saw on his phone. Now, mind you, let me see what year. What year did Kirk and Rasheeda join Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? In 2012. That's what I thought. Over a decade. They joined Love and Hip Hop in 2012. So they've been going back and forth with this, with the cheating, with the babies, with everything since 2012. This girl, like I said, is at least the second person, the second woman that has come to her as a woman with his baby or potentially with his baby since 2012. And she maintains this air about her of like, oh, you did. Sorry, Alicia. She maintains this air about her of like, well, these women are dirty and nasty and da-da-da-da-da, and, the sanctity of marriage and life of a wife and this and that and the other, which, I'm going to be real with you. I'm a firm believer in if you're going to do something, do it, right? If you want to be about something, be about it. But it's really sad and weird to me that she can keep having the same exact experience and not come to a conclusion of just like, okay, he's just not for what I'm for. He's just not trying to do what I'm trying to do with this marriage thing, right? And even so, like, even if you're going to stay married in this thing, stop treating it as if these other people are just so unreasonable with this guy that keeps coming. I'm trying to tell you, his demeanor is so childlike, and it reminds me so much of Nick Cannon and Cam Newton when they were being confronted with their bullshit, and that aura of just like a preteen angst. You know what I mean? Or just embarrassed. You know how you catch a kid doing something, specifically a little boy, doing something they're not supposed to do, and they just kind of like, I don't know. Why'd you do that? I don't know. That kind of a thing. These people are. Is Kirk 50? Is he in his 50s? I feel like he should be in his 50s by now. It's just really crazy. So I'm going to read my excerpt from Level Up, the Single Mother's Guide to Reclaiming Her Dignity. And this part is about something that I refer to as the veil. The imagery of having the veil lifted from over your face has two meanings, one typically more preferred than the other. If you have trouble letting go of the idea of you and your child's father being a couple, you more than likely have envisioned your own bridal veil being lifted to reveal you and him in all your splendor. In most cases, it's this fantasy that is mechanizing the cycle of poor judgment and regret in which you find yourself stuck. In this instance, the veil you don is one of delusion, wishful thinking, and projection. I can remember instances when both of my children's father, where I was faced with the proof of their disinterest in me and or my feelings, needs, and instead of taking it at face value, I took the liberty of constructing a narrative that explained their behavior in a way that allowed me not only to forgive it, but to dismiss it. That's Rasheeda in a nutshell. Oh, and let me go ahead because we doing big things up in here. Sorry, y'all. I'm just so proud. So here's the QR code for the ebook. You can go ahead and screenshot that or whatever. You can come back and pause it and get that if you need it. And here's the QR code for the paperback. If you want to get it in hand like this, you want it something tangible you can feel on. And also, if you want to contribute to the channel, here is the Cash App. So I'm trying to tell y'all, thing we up, Jay. So let me go back. Sorry. That's Rasheeda in a nutshell. And that's why I said it's a little weird and interesting in the case of these three people, because like I said, Jasmine seems like she is the epitome of what this book is about. She's like, look, I realized I had a baby with this loser and I just want, yeah, yes, QR code. And she's like, I just want my child to have the father he deserves. Now, there's something to be said about having sex with a married man. And thank you, Anti. There's something to be said about having sex with a married man and expecting, things to go well. But I don't even, it doesn't feel to me like Jasmine is overstepping in the way that Rasheeda is trying to paint it out like, oh, she wants, because she's trying to make it seem like Jasmine wants to live off of Kirk. She wants, a stipend. She wants to be a kept woman under Kirk. But the thing is, hey, Sparkjoy, based on the stuff that Jasmine was saying, that's what Kirk has been trying to offer her for sex. He's been trying to offer her to be a kept woman if he can have sex with her. And again, I don't think it doesn't come off as if Jasmine is like wanting that. It comes off as Jasmine like, look, just do for your child. Like, don't penalize your son. Don't withhold from your son. I don't need all of that. Just do what you're supposed to do for your son. And so that's what makes it interesting. But Rasheeda is wholly caught up in this idea of the veil because time after time after time, so publicly on television, Jesus, she's confronted with looking so silly, foreign with this man. And yet she keeps trying to paint, now it's Jasmine, but anybody and everybody else out to be weird. Now, I will say there's another part in here too that I didn't pull up, and I'll pull it up at some point. I'll find it along the way. But there's another part in here where I think she does, where I'm basically talking about how women will stay in relationships with guys where they know, hey, Jazzy, they know that the man is not no good, but because they get to feel like the better person, they won't just move on from the thing. And somebody, what was her name? Something Blue. I can't remember her name. But she talks about like the Kardashians a lot. And she was talking about Kourtney Kardashian, and how for the longest time she stayed with Scott because in comparison to Scott, she was like the one that had it all together. And so she felt like she could maintain an air of superiority in that dynamic because he was such a mess. And so there are women who will want to stay with someone like that because they are unequivocally the better person. They look the best. They look like they have their shit completely together in comparison to this other person, even though they want this person to come in and potentially be the leader of the household. And I talk about all of that in here. I talk about all of like just how silly it is and how weird we be moving and thinking when we're in this space of, oh, I want to be with my child's father. I don't want to be a single mother. I'm better if I'm married. I'm better if he chose me. I'm better. I'm better. I don't want to be that. And it's just really, really ridiculous how it all plays out. Like I said, you can see you, True. You can see that Rasheed, and it, in a way, I feel bad for her because clearly she's hurt. But like, Miss Man, 12 years. They've been on there since 2012. 12 years. You've been going back and forth. You can anytime go on the internet and go back and watch it. I can remember dealing with people, specifically my child's father, and having to do that trick where you put do not answer. You know how you do that when you put do not answer on the phone, or you got to leave yourself notes to remember why you not fucking with that person anymore. Because if you just sit for a while and you missing them for a while, you're going to forget why it is you stop fucking with them in the first place, right? She don't have to, like, she can, there's an archive of this relationship, and yet she still keeps holding on to it. And for the life of me, I cannot understand why. When it comes, let me see. Let me try to find. I'm trying to find the part. Sorry, y'all. Talk amongst yourselves. This is the end. What was you do? Lord, this story. Sorry, y'all. Okay. One of the foundational components of the veil is the belief that not only are you not wrong for continuing this toxic dynamic with your child's father, but that you are noble for doing so. That by making these sacrifices, you are demonstrating your maturity, your loyalty, your unquestionable worthiness, making him the ungrateful and undeserving villain, and you the victim of his selfishness and your own kind heart and loyal nature. So, since you are unable to rest assured in the relationship, you dig your heels into the position of being the one that's right. There's just one problem. You're not happy, sis. I can't imagine that she is happy. I can't imagine the level of stress and anxiety that she must go through. Because, like I said, this is at least, shut up, Kitty. This is at least the third, I want to say, instance of this that we've seen. Because they had already been married for some years. She was an adult once they got on the show, but she was not an adult when they started together in a relationship, right? So they had already been, so who knows what we haven't seen, right? But in terms of the show, this is like the third time that they've been through this. So I can't imagine the anxiety that she must live under of being like, every time I get to a point where I feel like we're past whatever it is, here's something that comes back. And especially now, like she seems really upset about the concept of having to deal with this new child because sorry, my phone. Because like I said, the mother was talking about, Ami, are you late? Yes and no. We just kind of went over the overview of Kirk and Rasheeda's relationship, and then Kirk and Rasheeda and Jasmine from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta's situation. She's struggling with having to deal with the fact that the boy is there. She keeps insisting that, like, oh, when he's there, he gets treated just like everybody else because that's what we need to do. She's really stuck on this whole thing of like, we're doing what we're obligated to do, right? But they're not even doing what they're obligated to do because, like I said, he apparently is not even coming there as much as he's supposed to per their custody agreement. But she doesn't seem to have a problem with that. And that's the thing. Like, she don't want that baby around. It's clear that she does not want that baby around, and she's simply like tolerating him, even if she's saying like, oh yeah, well, he gets the same treatment when he's around. But if he's barely around, then he's not really getting the same treatment, is he? You know what I mean? And he keeps saying, sorry, and he keeps saying like, oh well, I send you money, but she's saying apparently he's not sending the money, the amount of money that is needed to actually take care of the child. And then on top of him not being around the child, like it's just a mess. And it really makes you wonder, like, what's going, like what's going on here? And mind you, and that just goes to show you, marriage does not save you. Marriage does not save you from going through these things. Rasheeda is the wife, and she seems to be the one struggling the most in this situation, not Jasmine. It would be a different thing, like I said, if it was a thing where they were fighting over each other. Jasmine don't seem to want that man, but that man want her. But that man want her. And there's Rasheeda sitting there feeling like, oh, well, I'm the wife, and so you need to respect me in a certain way, and you need to not expect certain things because only a wife gets those things. Well, only a wife is getting cheated on. Right now, only the wife is getting cheated on. I really don't know what else to say beyond it. That's really kind of crazy. I do think I'm gonna try and see if I can pull up some TikToks maybe. Because what is that? They talking about it. Sorry, I'm looking at these things that's coming up. Am I logged in the TikTok on here? Probably not. I think I did. I don't remember. Okay, I did log in. All right. So let's see. Oh, Jasmine got more. Ooh, Jasmine got more receipts. Hold up. We about to watch some. All right. Let me find a thing. We might be able to do this. At this point, he said, at this point, is it even cheating? I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. I do feel like we've breached another realm here. Knowing now Kirk groomed her, it explains so much, doesn't it? Let's see. Oh, I want to share. Share screen. Can I shut me up? Hold on, let me shut me up.
How much do you think I can take? I have the proof. You said blank. How much do you think I can take? You read it. Are you blind? I have the proof. You said blank. How much do you think I can take? You read it. Are you blind? I saw it. I have the proof.
So that I think is the reaction to what she saw that night. Because again, like I said, I'm going to set the scene for you, right? They're out. It's nighttime. The air must be nice because they all just outside the party. It looks like a nice little theme party, maybe early 2000s, 90s, whatever. Jasmine rides up. Carly's there being messy. Carly invited her. So Carly goes over to the group without Jasmine. She's like, "Oh yeah, Jasmine's here. She has some receipts." Da, 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 da. And so she brings a phone or a screenshot, whatever. It's a conversation. There are two small things that are blacked out within the stuff that Jasmine said to him. And so, Erica Dixon is there, Scrappy's baby mom. She there. She always, anyway, she like, "Oh, well, we can't see that. We don't know. Da, 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 da." Okay, fair enough. Then Spice always coming in clutch. Spice like, "Hey, well, maybe we could see it on," I think it was Spice. It might have been Erica. But one of them was like, "Maybe we can look on your phone because if this conversation happened, then the full conversation, unredacted conversation, should be on your phone." And so they get his phone. He's already looking a little funny, but he's trying to give him the flim flam. "Oh, well, I don't know. It ain't really nothing on my phone." Da 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 da. Rasheeda's like, "Hand it over." Spice is like, "The date is this date." Rasheeda goes to the date. She looks at him. Kirk was looking stupid. Like, he literally was looking like, "I might be able to find it. Let me find it. Let me see if I can find it." Looking stupid. And can I? Oh, yeah, I forgot. This ain't that. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh no. Oh no. Chill out. Hold on. I'm about to share it.
You want to make me look crazy by your lies? I'm going to make you look crazy by my truth. He says, so I'm out if we. You want to make me look crazy by your lies? I'm going to make you look crazy by my truth. He says, so I'm out if we. You want to make me look crazy by your lies? I'm going to make you look crazy by my truth.
We gonna keep it on his face. I want to keep it on his face. I let it play a few times because it was a short clip, but we gonna keep it on his face because that's the face I'm talking about. You see that face? You see that face? That's the face I'm talking about. It doesn't make any sense. And mind you, 12 years of this. 12 years of this. She said, "If the receipt is in your phone, why hand it up?" Because what else is he going to do? The thing is, if you've ever been around a lying ass dude like that, they're going to try to maintain posture, even up to a point like that. They're going, no, some of them are going to get like loud and rowdy and trying to deflect. But mind you, he's standing with her, he's standing around all those women. You know what I mean? There are certain types of dudes. Some dudes will get aggressive and they probably would have shut it down. Like, I feel like somebody like Scrappy would have shut it down from the beginning. He would have been deflected. He would have made it about, "Oh, you don't trust me, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah." Kirk's not that kind of person. Kirk and what's this man name? Nick Cannon are cut from the same cloth. Kirk and Nick Cannon are cut from the same cloth. They are more personable. You know what I mean? Like, they're not as aggressive. So that's why you'll get to see that. Let me pull the face back up. Let me that face. That face right there. Let me see. Can it get bigger? No, it's smaller. Oh, we'll just. Oh no, no, no. Sorry. Sorry. That face right there, right? Um, what is that? We're going to. Sorry, I'm going to remove this. Okay. He. What was I saying? Oh yeah, he's not going to buck up or whatever. He's just going to stand there and look stupid. He said, "I'm gonna be deaf and immediately leave." He said, "Yes, they do. It's like a class in lying." Yep. He doesn't care if she finds out. Rasheeda isn't going anywhere. There's no accountability, and that's the thing. And that's like why I did the um the title of this live the way I did, because like she never. It's been 12 years. 12 years, 1.5 to 2 children, extramarital children later. You know what I mean? Like, and like I said, I don't know what was going on before them. I know he had other kids prior to getting with her, but I don't know if it was just prior to the marriage. I don't know if it was just prior to the show. Like I don't know. But this has been, I can't imagine that this has actually been a happy marriage. I the anxiety. I just being a mother. When my oldest daughter is grown now. When my oldest daughter was a child, I remember this sense of dread and anxiety that just hung over me all the time, because she would be problematic at school. Like it would be this thing where she would do something at school. I'm talking major crazy stuff, getting suspended all the time, different types of crazy things. And that would die down and things would just be regular to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to treat her right. I'm feeling like baseline okay. Let's do something special. I would plan it. I wouldn't tell her because I wouldn't want to give her, the incentive of like, oh, I'm going to bribe you to be good or whatever. I just wanted her. And then as soon as I would make a plan or whatever for us to do something, I would get that call from school. I just remembered that I can't imagine this is any different than that. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like, it could be so much worse, because at the end of the day, as a mother, I knew eventually it was going to end. She was going to grow up. You know what I mean? She was going to grow up. I was going to be free of that in that. You know what I mean? Not that I wouldn't want to deal with her anymore, but you know what I mean? Like it would change in a way that I wouldn't have to worry about it as much. This has to be crazy. And she's choosing it. And she's choosing it. Their child, like I said, their child got to be like 12, 11 or 12 now, because they were doing this in 2012. It's okay to let go. It's okay to let go, Rasheeda. But like I said, my book is supposed to be for baby mom, but she need to let that man go. And this ain't even a thing of like, I I don't even know if I can sit and say that I believe that like it's a romantic type of love thing now. At this point, I feel like it's just ego. You know what I mean? It's just ego. It's just, oh, I was thinking about this too earlier in the day. Being that he was with her since she was a child, her whole identity as a woman is wrapped up in being this man's wife. Her whole identity as a woman is being wrapped up in this man's life. And I talk about identity in the book. Oh, gotta do this thing. I love doing this. We're gonna put up the QR codes for the ebook. You can get your copy, download your copy from here. You can get your paperback copy like this from here. And also, if you want to patronize the channel and be a sponsor of the channel, you can send it to there. I love these QR codes. This thing is so cute. Demons, you need to get your Restream. Restream is that girl. Okay, I really enjoy it. It takes a lot for me to want to pay for something, and I paid for this. I love it. I wonder if I can get a what's that called? A link, like an affiliate link or something. I have to look into that because I am singing their praises, baby. But you know what? And I'm gonna just leave it up because it's cute. But yeah, I I can't imagine that she's been what I would call happy. I just think that her identity is so wrapped up in this man that like she can't even conceive living life, having, especially after everything she did. And when I was going to pick up my daughter today, I thought about, because I feel bad for her in a sense when it comes to the identity thing, but the way I got to that, because initially I was like, I don't feel bad for her because she's walking around treating everybody bad. She did K Michelle so dirty. K Michelle was, she had a relationship with a guy named Memphis. Memphis was married to Lil Wayne. This is crazy. This web of people. Memphis was married to Lil Wayne's ex-wife Toya at that time. And because Rasheeda was part of the Life of a Wife Brigade, she didn't uh, respect the fact that this woman was talking about this man's husband. This woman was potentially um, disturbing this happily married couple, the sanctity of their marriage. And so, mind you, this wasn't about her messing with him while they were married. This was just about her saying, hey, back in the day when he was with me, he did these things to me. He assaulted me, yada, yada, yada. And so Rasheeda was very disrespectful, very dismissive to her face about this. Um, I believe this was after they had already had some kind of a falling out though, where the whole two earrings. She was like Kirk and his two earrings. That's what K Michelle had said. But even so, like that's something really really serious. And then you got King Dingling, sleeping in the bed next to you, going around dropping off DNA with everybody. Like it really is embarrassing. This is not good cases for marriage in this case. Now, I want to be clear about something. I am not someone who, while I am not someone who like champions marriage and aspires to marriage or anything like that, I do remain open to the possibility of one day maybe getting married if I meet the right person, if I'm in the right type of situation, if I'm in a relationship with a person where I can feel safe and not have to feel that anxiety of feeling like I need to fend off other women from destroying my marriage, whether it's by, you know, machination, was divination and sorcery. Shout out to those who know. If you know, you know. Or if it's through the truth of the things that my man would be doing behind my back. I would want to be with someone who I can rest in the knowledge that they are committed to me. And if they ever felt differently, that they would come and talk to me, before doing something that would jeopardize that. But I don't believe in marriage to the point where this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. It's very problematic. And I can only imagine, you can't tell me that their children, because we already know how Jasmine's child is being affected, but you can't tell me that their children aren't being affected by this. You can't tell me that there's not an air of, when things have come to the surface, an air of discomfort, an air of what's that called, awkwardness, to say the least. You can't tell me they're not trying to argue, in the other room somewhere with the door closed, but the kids can still hear it. You can't tell me that they're not doing the silent treatment or whatever, or that Kirk's not walking around with that dumbass face. You can't tell me that. And so one of the tenets of Level Up Single Mom is about being your best self and living your best life for the benefit of your children. If you are dealing with someone who has got you going through all of these changes, I guarantee you are not living your best life. And you are not being the best mother you can be with all this stuff on your mind. Aside from just the hurt, you know what I mean? The trying to figure out how to make it work, how to forgive, how to forget, that's too much bandwidth to be using ostensibly on one person. Let's take marriage and stuff out of it. Let's look at it objectively. That is too much bandwidth to be wasting on one person when you have however many kids you have businesses, you have a career, you have a brand, you have all types of things that you could be putting your uh energy into, that you do put your energy into, what does that leave for you to relax, for you to heal if you have anything going on with your body? I can imagine. I'm sure she ain't got to talk about it, but she got to be having some migraines or something, high blood pressure, some heart palpitations. Something's got to be going. And this not me trying to put it on her. If she doesn't, that's wonderful. But I'm just saying, like, the stress, the anxiety of when am I going to get that phone call? When are we going to be filming? Or when am I going to get that script? Because like, mind you, even though the stuff is scripted, they still it's real life stuff. Like, there really is a kid. He really did cheat, or they just kind of integrate. That's got to be wild too. That's got to be crazy, because even if they do actually like surprise people, and let me see something. I'm gonna put the link here if anybody wants to come and hop up and talk about this. Spark Joy said it started beef between Tamar and K Michelle. Yeah, that was K Michelle went through so much. K Michelle went through so much just being on that show and everything. Like, they really did not want to like her. Between them and then Mimi getting mad at her because he was telling her about that guy that wanted to bring his wife on, and it was all a lie. And don't let me. I'm gonna have to get into Mimi. I'm gonna have to get into me. I'm gonna have to revisit all of these things. Mimi, Peter Guns and his 2 earrings. We're going to have to. But yeah, I mean, it's gotta be illness, mental illness. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, here on Level Up Single Mom, everything that we're talking about, we have a quick key. We like to giggle and cackle and everything else, but ultimately, I talk about these things in a way to kind of make us look at our situations, look at our options, look at our choices, and grow and learn from that, and all towards the end of being better for our children. Because at the end of the day, no matter what we say, do what I say, not as I do, does not work. At the very least, even if you're not executing properly, being able to say to people, hey, say to your kids, hey, you know what? This isn't the way to go. Not me trying to tell you don't do it, but like tell you why, what I'm actually going through. You know what I mean? That's what I try to do for my daughter. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't talking to her like when she was very much so younger, and I was like really going through the thick of it with her father. We didn't, but when she got older, like, I explained to her certain things that she came back to me with her perspective of what she was witnessing around those times, right? And then giving her the perspective of, yeah, this is what was going on with me, and this is what I was going for, and this is what I thought, and this is what I believe, but this is what I've come to know is true, and these are the things that I'm afraid of, and these are the things I don't want you to have to deal with, and everything like that. And I'm proud to say that my daughter was the one to break the generational curse of teen motherhood, because my grandmother had her first child at, I believe, 17. My mother had me at 13. I had her at 18. My daughter's currently 20, and there are no babies in sight. You know what I mean? And I just said, why 2 earrings? You know why 2 earrings? He said, "Is Tamar still with the white guy?" I don't know. I'm not watching any of this stuff. Yes, Peter Guns, disgusting. But yeah, my baby, my oldest baby, has no child. She's just focused on living her life and finding her happiness or whatever. And that may, mean kids in the future, maybe even marriage or whatever. But for right now, she's made it into her 20s without the burden of having to try to figure out how to raise a child, or actively failing a child. You know what I mean? So there is value in doing this kind of work, and as you can see, like, it doesn't have to be this thing where you have to go into a corner and sit quietly or whatever. Like, you can do it with whatever you're doing. If you're watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, if you're watching yes, so proud of the newest generation. And that definitely helps. I think that the culture seems to be shifting, or at the very least, there's more information. Because I say all the time, if I had known then what I know now about like men and what's going on, it would have been a whole different thing. Thank you, Alicia. So yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to come up. Somebody come talk with me in these new digs, in my new shindig. Somebody come up here and be fancy with me. You don't have to talk long because I have 2 hours tops in me for these live streams, right? But I don't know. Oh, I'm if I'm looking around, it's because I'm trying to see. I don't know where the people would pop up at if anyone were to come up. Let me see. What is this? Oh, oh, okay. This is something else. Nobody came up yet, but I'm looking at this thing. I'm trying this all out. And yeah, what do you think? Tell me what you guys like the most about this new setup here, because I really like this. This is so much more comfortable. I didn't even put on my glasses. I didn't even have to put on my glasses with this. I could see it's like there's more stuff on the screen, but somehow like it's better visually on this back end here. Let me see. Who said what? Thank you, Alicia. I do this for y'all because Lord knows I don't be feeling like it. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. So nobody came up, which is fine. I don't feel bad. So I'm going to hit the QR codes one last time. I want to thank you. Moral of the story: if you don't already have a copy, or if you know somebody that needs to get you a copy of the book, you can find it here, the ebook version. This is the screen, the QR code for the ebook version. You can go ahead and screenshot that. I also did I already put the. I feel like I already put the links in the description. We rolling over here. Here's the paperback version, so you can scan that. If you don't need it, send it to somebody you think who does. There's also, I think, in the description, there's a link to the free chapter. So if they don't necessarily know if they want to buy it or not, they want to try to see like what it's about, there is a free chapter that people can download. That's a downloadable thing. Um, that is in the description, I think. And if you want to sponsor the channel, sponsor the fanciness. There is the Cash App for Love of Single Mom. But other than that, I want to thank you for joining me. Just a little something. More than anything, it was just me trying to keep my streak going, keep making content, stay accountable, stay consistent. So that's it. I don't know if anybody else is going to be going live tonight. Just in case, I'm going to keep my face like this in case I got to pop up and show niggas, you know. But thank you for joining me. Very much so enjoy your company. Thank you for seeing everybody. Kenny, Alicia, QB, Spark Joy, Nia, Tori came through. Theme is anti Jazzy. Who's this? True came in and left out. Love her. Is that everybody? If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. Who's Mara? Mrs. Deeds. That's Kenny. I think that's everybody. So anyway, good night to you. Love you. We'll see you next time. We're going to keep this train rolling. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Please leave some comments in the bottom if you would, and share this with people. Like if anybody that don't be here normally but likes this kind of stuff, please let them know because I'm trying to build. The goal is to by the end of the year be at 1,000 subs here, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. So anything that you could do to help me to that end, greatly appreciate it. I will see you all. Um, oh man, I should have been trying to get this thing together while I was running my mouth. I forgot that I took it off. Hold on. Okay.